afternoon, good evening. I'm Jeannie from the Philippines and my fiancé is Buddy from the USA, and you're now watching the Team Taylor channel. And for today's video, I just want to share to you some of my tips on how to prepare for our upcoming or for your upcoming K1 visa interview. So first and foremost, you should try gathering your interview documents from the time that you're waiting for your NVC letter. So when you receive your notice of action 2 or the approval of the petition, it usually takes 1 month before you will be able to receive the NVC letter. So during those times or during that 1 month period, you should try gathering the documents and try putting it in a clear book or wherever you might want to place those documents that you will be bringing for that interview, for the upcoming interview. And you should try also to get a copy of your birth certificate and your certificate of no marriage and the NBI Clearance. So that's it. So that you can have further time and ample time to prepare for your upcoming interview. So that you may not be able to forget important documents that you should need to bring for the interview. 1 month is good enough to prepare such documents. And you can also prepare during that time your photos together. You can collate or compile it or make a scrapbook during that period. And you can also prepare the flight and accommodation copies that you might be able to bring into the interview, as well as the chats and the video call logs, because those are also needed since the consul might ask for those. So that's it. So the next one that I'll be giving to you, the next tip, is that you should also try to read the I-129F petition, the Affidavit of Support, and the Declaration of How You Met or the Statement of Meeting in Person that you have submitted in your I-129F visa packet. And or if not, you should try also making an interview reviewer, since the objective questions, which means the questions that are answerable by who, questions that are answerable with the who, what, when, where, and how. So these questions are just derived from the I-129F petition, from the Affidavit of Support, and from the Declaration of How You Met. So for example, the question is this: how much does your fiancé earn for a year? So you can see that in the Affidavit of Support. And for example, when did you meet in person? So you can see the details in the Declaration of How You Met. So, you know the details by yourself, but it is important that you can still be able to read once again the details, because what if, for example, you were not able to remember it in the interview, or you forgot because you were too nervous, right? So, it's better to make a reviewer or to read once again those forms so that you can be able to clearly memorize in a way so that you cannot be able to forget those important or pertinent details with respect to the relationship. So that's it. So if your fiancé has had divorced or had a court case, well, please try to know further details about such divorce and about those criminal cases or that criminal case if there is any, because usually the consular officer will ask questions also with respect to those, like gather information who was the ex-wife of the petitioner and what was the criminal case all about, something like that. And be sure that you know the details about those particular scenarios or those particular court cases or divorce that your fiancé had. So that's it. So my first advice is to prepare your documents while waiting for the NVC letter, and the second advice is to read the I-129F petition, the Affidavit of Support, the Declaration of How You Met, and That's it. Or just make an interview reviewer for yourself so that you will not be able to forget the most important details or the most important aspect with regard to your relationship. Or if your fiancé had divorced way back or had a criminal case, then gather information about those, because the consular officer will obviously ask about those criminal case, or like what happened to the divorce, something like that. So that's it. So the third advice that I'm gonna be giving to you is to prepare your things the night before your interview, and make sure that you will not be able to bring things that are prohibited inside the US Embassy. So you can check what are the prohibited things inside the US Embassy on its website. And one example that is prohibited to bring inside the US Embassy is your cell phone. So don't bring your cell phones with you inside the US Embassy. Yeah, so the fourth advice is that come early. Come early in the US Embassy, because it's regardless of the time schedule. They open at around 7:30 a.m. and usually there's a long line outside the US Embassy, and obviously you have to fall in line until such time that you wait for your turn and enter the US Embassy. So way back during my interview, I was scheduled at 8:15 a.m. but I arrived at 6:30 a.m. and then I fell in line for like 1 hour, because from 6:30 a.m. And it opens up to 7, the US Embassy opens at 7:30 a.m. So I lined up for 1 hour. So that's it. So it's also good that if you arrived early, then obviously you can be able to finish the interview early and you can have some time to relax during the day. So that's the advantage of coming early for your interview. And the last advice that I can give you, or the fifth advice, is that it is okay to be nervous, but try to calm down yourself, because just think of it. You know that the relationship is genuine, and obviously you can be able to answer all the questions that will be asked by the consular officer. So have some peace of mind and don't worry, because you know that the relationship is genuine. So with those pieces of advice, I hope that I was able to help you in preparing for your upcoming interview. So God bless and good luck to those who are currently processing their fiancé visa, and God bless also to those who will be having their upcoming interviews. So that's it. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye for now.